I was 12 years old. One moment I was a little girl, clutching my mother's old scarf for comfort. The next, I was standing on the cold tiles of the hallway, staring at a family that no longer felt like mine. Her voice had been calm, too calm. "You don't belong here anymore," my stepmother said, her eyes unreadable. My father didn't even look up. He simply nodded, as if my departure was the most natural thing in the world. I didn't understand. I couldn't. All I knew was the sharp twist in my stomach, the icy grip of abandonment that wrapped around my chest. That night, the city lights outside seemed dimmer. The air smelled of rain and despair. And as I stepped out into the streets with nothing but a small bag of clothes, I felt my childhood shatter. The city was unforgiving. Neon signs flickered over wet asphalt, reflecting in puddles like broken dreams. I wandered from street to street, trying to find somewhere to rest. I had no money, no friends, and no family willing to open their doors. I learned quickly that survival wasn't about strength, it was about wit. I begged for small jobs, delivering groceries, cleaning tables, running errands for strangers. Every coin I earned became a lifeline. Every insult or dismissal only added fuel to a fire I didn't yet realize was growing inside me. Some nights I would curl up on a park bench, hugging my knees, whispering to the sky, "I will rise. Somehow I will." It felt like madness back then, but the resolve began quietly, invisibly, like roots under winter soil, waiting to push through.
Education became my secret weapon. I enrolled in night classes at the local community center, determined that no one's cruelty would determine my fate. The teachers didn't know my story. They saw a quiet girl, always late, always tired, but strangely focused. My classmates mocked my worn shoes, my patched jackets, yet every insult sharpened my resolve. I read books that transported me to worlds where girls like me were queens, adventurers, and leaders. By the time I was 16, I was no longer just surviving, I was planning. Every paycheck, every small victory was a brick in the foundation of the life I would build. It happened on a rainy Thursday afternoon. I was delivering files to a small business office downtown when the owner, Mr. Rafiq, noticed me struggling with a heavy box. "Young lady, you've got fire in your eyes," he said. "Ever thought about working in an office? You've got more potential than these streets can ever teach you." I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke, but he didn't laugh. He offered me a small clerical position. The pay was modest, but it was legal, it was safe, and most importantly, it was a foothold. For the first time, I tasted the intoxicating possibility that my life could be more than survival, that maybe, just maybe, I could become someone my past couldn't define. 12-year-old girl. The years blurred together. I worked my way up. Each promotion a silent triumph over the 12-year-old girl who had been abandoned. I paid for night classes, degrees, certifications, anything that could sharpen my edge. The city that once rejected me now watched as I moved through it with purpose. I learned to network, to negotiate, to carry myself like someone who belonged, even when I doubted it inside. By 25, I had my own department. By 30, I led major projects, managing people who had once looked down on me. I was living proof that circumstances could shape you, but they could never define you. Success has a way of calling the ghosts of your past. One afternoon, my stepmother called, asking for a meeting. The voice on the other end was hesitant, almost vulnerable. She spoke of apologies, of regrets. I listened. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I realized that her words couldn't hurt me anymore. I had already forgiven, not for her, but for me. I had built a life that was untouchable, a life that no abandonment could erase.
Standing in my office one morning, looking out at the city skyline, I realized that every hardship had been a lesson. Every insult, every betrayal, every lonely night had shaped me. I was no longer the girl left on the doorstep. I was a woman who could stand tall, who could lead, who could inspire others to rise above their pain. I had transformed the rejection and cruelty of my past into the stepping stones of my success. And in that moment, I understood the truth. The greatest victory isn't revenge, it's rising so high that the world can't ignore you. If you've ever faced hardships in life or felt underestimated by others, this story is for you. Share your story with us in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another inspiring story.